So before I found Magnolia Medical Center, I had been struggling for about a year with some pretty big hormone imbalances. And I had been going to my usual OBGYN, and we had run all kinds of lab levels and everything, but with the limitations of traditional medicine, they were basically offering me surgical options at that point, which I didn't want because I knew that was only putting a Band-Aid on what was wrong with me at that point. So, I had more going on than I really knew I had going on before I came here. But all I knew was to try and DIY myself through it, which doesn't usually work very well. But I had done a lot of research, but I got to a point of frustration with the limitations of my OBGYN and what I was trying to do just, from a natural standpoint. And it gets to a frustration point where you're stuck and you can't move forward anymore, and you just need, you need real help. So I was actually getting my hair cut one day, and I overheard some gals talking about, they were actually talking about thyroid imbalances, but they were talking about Magnolia Medical Center. So I did a quick Google on my phone, and I saw that you guys offer treatments for functional medicine, perspectives, and specifically hormone imbalances. And so then I got really excited, and I read all the literature, and I called and scheduled an appointment to come in, hoping that I could get some extra help and relief. So my experience at Magnolia has been wonderful. I would sort of classify it as very personal. I feel like everybody, even the front desk, like from the front desk all the way to behind, when you get to your room, everybody knows you. Even when they call you to make an appointment or follow up, they're genuinely checking on you and asking about how you're doing. So it's been you feel like you matter instead of just being another patient chart, with a 15-minute time slot somewhere. And I think that's been the biggest difference. Also, you don't ever feel rushed. So when I go into my appointments, I never feel like I'm limited to, this little tiny slot of time where your medical provider can't get a big overall view of what's really going on with you, when they're only seeing you for 5 to 10 minutes, they're just looking at one little slice of the pie. So we really get to dive in deeper, and the other part is that I feel like I can do research at home, and I can bring that here when I see Rich, and I can say, hey, I read this, can we talk about it, can we, and we'll kind of diagnose it together, and he'll help me understand parts that I don't understand, or so it's sort of like you're working together instead of just a doctor preaching at you, where you feel like you never have an opinion that counts. So I think I started here in July of last year, and when I came, obviously I had all the symptoms of like crazy hormone imbalances. So there was some mood stuff, just high levels of anxiety, and I was really tired. I have 4 kids, but I was tired beyond being a mom of 4 kids. I just didn't feel like I had energy to really invest in my business and myself, and I don't know, I just felt overall icky. Versus now, I do have a lot more energy than I did a year ago. My hormone levels are not perfect yet, but they're better than they've been in 5 years. So as we all know, it takes a long time to undo what got into a bad place. So in just a year, we've come so far, which is amazing. So I would just say energy levels, my digestion is better. In working with Angela, and the nutrition side of things is a huge component, and that makes a really big difference. And I would say I was nutrition savvy before, but I feel like I know more now. I'm more empowered to make, it all boils down to me making those choices, but I know the choices I need to make, or if I'm not feeling good, digestively, I can kind of back up. And so it's empowering, it's educating you to give you the resources that you need, that when you know you're not feeling right in a certain way, you know how to then adjust and fix those things, and you kind of get the backup help for that as well.